All right, for solving linear equations, as long as they don't have fractions in them, we follow these steps. First, we simplify both sides of the equation. So this side, we need to figure out what can be done. In this case, there's no multiply or divide. So we're going to add and subtract. So we're going to add the x's. So negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2x. Nothing to add to that one. On the side, we can add these. So that's 2. Then we get all the variables on one side by adding the opposite, but they're already all on one side. There's no x's over here. Then we get all the other terms, all the constants on the other side by adding the opposite. And then we divide by the coefficient of x. And we get x equals negative 7/2 or negative 3.5. All right, so this side is already simplified. Actually, I'm going to leave this one for you to do. Well, maybe I'll do them all. All right, so we get all the x's on one side by adding the opposite. So I don't want any x's on the right. Then we get all the constants on the other side, all the other terms on the other side by adding the opposite, and then divide by the coefficient. This one, just remember you need to start off by doing the distributive property, and then combine like terms, then get all the x's on one side, all the constants on the other, and divide by the coefficient. Finding slope. Slope is a fraction that shows the rate of change of a linear function. So when it's a graph, it's always change in y over change in x. From the graphs, we use rise over run. So this is up 2 and over 1, 2, 3. So that's up 2 over 3. And then if you need to, you would simplify the fraction. We don't need to in that case. In this one, we go down 2 over 1. So that's down 2 over 1. And negative 2 divided by 1 is just negative 2. From a table, we do similar. So we're going to go, but we're going to use change in y over change in x. So we're going to say this went down 2. This went up 2. So this is change in y. That's a triangle, sorry. Change in y over change in x. So down 2 over 2, negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So this goes up 2. This goes up 4. If you're not sure, what you do is you just subtract going upwards. So like on this one, 7 minus 3. Especially when you start getting into negatives, it helps if you do that. So you subtract going up. So we have change in y over change in x, 2 over 4. I can divide both of those by 2, so I get 1/2. If you're not sure, again, you can go 2 divided by 4, enter, it'll give you the decimal, math, fraction, enter is 1, and that will simplify your fraction. All right, now this one, once you get on the EOC test, this is the only formula they give you. If you get stuck about how slope goes, just change in y over change in x. The y's run up and down, so it's rise. X's go sideways over run. This formula, you have x1, y1, x2, y2. First point and second point, all right? So you would just go 4 minus 3 over 1 minus 0. Simplify all that. Oop, 1 minus 0, sorry. 1 over 1 is, oops, need my glasses on. That's a negative 3, I'm sorry. So that's negative 3 minus 3. And minus a negative is a positive. So that's 7 over 1, which is 7. Now actually, if I was going to do this, and I couldn't remember how to do all that formula, I might just throw this in a table anyway. Go 0, negative 3, 1, 4, do change in y over change in x. So it's the same thing. All right, so 4 minus negative 3 is 7, so forth and so on. All right, so this one, x1, y1, x2, y2. So we do change in y, so negative 1 minus 2 over 3 minus 2. Negative 3 over 1 equals negative 3. Again, you could just put this in a table and do it from the table if you're more comfortable with that. 2, 2, and 3, negative 1. That's negative 3, positive 1. So negative 3 over 1. Slope-intercept form from graphs. So when you know the slope and the y-intercept, you're going to use y equals mx plus b. So you find the slope using rise over run, just like we did. We go down 1, 2, 3, and over 2. We put that slope in place of m, so y equals, the m goes with the x, negative 3 over 2x. And then the y-intercept is right there, so that's at 8. We put that in place of the b. All right, so our slope, negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 4. So we go y equals negative 1/4 x. And then our y-intercept in this case is at 3, so plus 3.